I'm still here in Harbison State Forest, and I'm just taking a little turn off of the Firebreak Trail West. Apparently, there's a historic tree grove down here, so let's take a little stroll down here and see what this historic tree grove is all about. And it's just so fresh and nice out here. It is a little humid, but not as hot, certainly, as it was last week. Fort Addison Black Locust. In 1823, Colonel Henry H. Leavenworth, commander of Fort Atkinson, made a special request when he ordered grain seeds from a supplier in Missouri. Leavenworth asked that black locust seeds be sent as well. With the seeds, he planted a grove of black locust trees at the fort. At one time, the United States' most important military post. A remnant of the grove is now all that remains of the original Fort Atkinson in Calhoun, Nebraska. Here we are at the historic tree grove sign. Trees stand as a living witness to the lives and events that shaped our nation. Each famous and historic tree planted in this grove is the direct offspring of the original parent tree located at historic sites across America. Trees planted by presidents, trees that went to the moon, trees located where soldiers fought and died. American history, do you know who was the greatest hero of World War I? What great American inventor was a former slave? What tree survived the greatest battle of the Civil War? What is South Carolina's most famous tree? Find answers to these questions as well as many other historic facts as you pass through this peaceful grove. Explore the history of our nation and our heritage through the unique perspective of America's oldest citizens, its trees. It's turned out to be a beautiful day. There's a 60% chance of thunderstorms, and I checked the radar before I left, and it looks like it's all south. Hopefully everything will remain cool here. Helen Keller Southern Magnolia. She studied nature by climbing trees in the yard of her Tuscumbia, Alabama home. The towering Helen Keller Southern Magnolia may have been one of those trees. Helen Keller was born in 1880 and lost her sight and hearing at the age of 19 months. Doctors told her parents she would be unable to function in the world, but Anne Sullivan, a 20-year-old graduate of the Perkins School for the Blind, began the extraordinary task of teaching 7-year-old Helen to communicate. Her success story gives hope to all who are physically challenged. George Washington Carver Persimmon. I love the persimmon tree. Those wild persimmons are really, really good. The George Washington Carver persimmon stands in honor of a great American inventor who began his life as a slave. Carver spent the entire early part of his life as a slave. Later, as a free adult, he devoted his life to bringing greater prosperity to the South. In his crowded laboratory at Tuskegee Institute, he invented 325 products made from peanuts, 118 from sweet potatoes, and many others from wood shavings and other southern agricultural products. Clara Barton Rosebud. The Clara Barton Rosebud grows outside of Clara's private office at Glen Echo, Maryland, home of the founder of the American Red Cross. Barton was born on Christmas Day, 1821, and died April 12, 1912. She is still recognized as one of the great women of American history. Barton began teaching school at a time when most teachers were men. She won the right to have a desk job in the federal government, while most women were required to carry their work home. Her greatest pioneering began when she was nearly 40 years old. Soon after the outbreak of the Civil War, she began to find ways for volunteers to help people in distress. Her ideals later led her to found the American Red Cross. Angel Oak. Towering over 65 feet high, the Angel Oak has shaded Johns Island, South Carolina, for over 1,400 years and would have sprouted 1,000 years before Columbus' arrival in the New World. Recorded history traces the ownership of the live oak and surrounded land back to the year 1717, when Abraham Waite received it as part of a small grant. The tree stayed in the Waite family for 4 generations and was part of a marriage settlement to Justice Angel and Martha Waite Tucker Angel. In modern times, the Angel Oak has become the focal point of a public park. Today, the live oak has a diameter of spread reaching 160 feet, a circumference of nearly 25 feet, and covers 17,100 square feet of ground. Walden Woods River Birch. Heaven is under our feet as well as over our heads, wrote Henry David Thoreau during his 2-year sojourn beside Walden Pond. Thoreau left organized society in 1845 to seek a spiritually fulfilling relationship with the natural world and to watch the progress of the seasons. His journal notes and observations published in his book Walden, or Life in the Woods, have provided a timeless source of natural inspiration since 1854. The Walden Woods River Birch that provided shade to Thoreau as he contemplated nature still grows today. Robert T. Bushington White Oak. Booker T. Washington was born to Jane Ferguson, slave and cook on the James Burroughs Plantation, Hardy, Virginia, in 1856. At age 9, Booker was among the group gathered beneath the trees in a local park, and first learned of their newborn freedom when the Emancipation Proclamation was read to them. As an adult, he gained national prominence as an author and in the field of education, founding Tuskegee Institute and promoting education as a means of social integration of blacks. The last remaining white oak still stands as witness to Dr. Washington's boyhood days. Patrick Henry Osage Orange. The former national champion Patrick Henry Osage Orange is more than 400 years old. It is a focal point of the grounds of Red Hill, Henry's Virginia home and resting place. Henry is best known for his "Give me liberty or give me death" speech. He has been called the voice of the American Revolution for his insistence on individual freedoms under the Constitution. The massive tree that bears his name has a span of 90 feet, stands 54 feet tall, and produces a large, green, inedible fruit, often called mock oranges. Manassas Mimosa. Manassas, Virginia was the site of 2 Civil War battles. In July 1861, Confederate General Thomas J. Stonewall Jackson defeated the Union Army under the command of General Irvin McDowell. The Battle of Second Manassas took place in August 1862 when Robert E. Lee sent Stonewall Jackson's forces to face General John Pope. After days of attack and counterattack, Jackson's soldiers prevailed, opening the way for the South's first invasion of the North. The Manassas Mimosa stands over the now silent battlefields.